Hey, sports bettor. Yes, you. Guess what? Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for its 28th year of NFL action. So, here's what you got to do. Just click the link below in my description box and sign up today. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Outta My League. I'm Nick Diaz. The Saints fan base is really no different than most other fan bases. They think the world is out to get them. Because at some point, you're all going to say everyone hates you or they don't respect you enough. Shit, even Cowboys fans think that. Why does everyone hate us? It's not our fault the national media talks about us so much. Even they say that. But look, the only difference is that every fan base has their different reasons as to why people hate them. And for the Saints specifically, it's because they're a small market team that isn't a traditional blue blood franchise like Green Bay or the New York Giants, for example. And to some extent, that is true. Look, it's not a conspiracy theory, okay? It's basic numbers. The national media has a priority to bigger markets because bigger markets have more people. It's simple math. So simple, even I can understand it. And don't worry, I'm getting to my point real quick here. And sometimes, though, it takes a public team to falter for the public to notice and respect the smaller market team going under the radar. So, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a public team right now. Only because they have Tom Brady and they won a Super Bowl 2 years ago and Brady's still there. But Tom Brady has one flaw in his game. One, he can't get away from a bad interior offensive line. And this is what's recently happened to the Tampa Bay Bucs interior offensive line. The Bucs lost their two starting guards last season. One retired, and the other one in free agency went to the Bengals to protect Joe Burrow. Thank you, Jesus. Now, one of their replacements at guard is out for the season. Then Ryan Jensen, their starting center, is also out for the season. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are down to a backup center, a backup right guard, and a third-string left guard. Plus, Pro Bowl tackle Tristan Wirfs is day-to-day with an injury. Now, he'll play, but still, an offensive lineman is banged up before the season even started. Usually no bueno. Now, the reason why it's a bigger deal to have an interior offensive lineman out than, say, your tackles is because offenses today have changed so much to a quicker developing style of play. You get the ball out quicker, which means now that your pass rush has to get to the quarterback even quicker. Makes sense. Well, the quickest way to rush the passer is no longer on the edge, but up the middle, in the interior, where the Bucs O-line is fucked to go after their immobile 45-year-old quarterback. That's Tom Brady's only kryptonite. That is his only kryptonite throughout his entire career. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have that problem. And the Saints, on top of that, have a top 3 defense in the league to attack that problem. And y'all, I love Jameis Winston, but when it comes to winning the NFC South, I don't really think you need Jameis Winston to be as good as you may think you need him to. Now, he has to play well, make no mistake about that, but when you mention Brady's throwing to a bunch of older guys, some of his best wide receivers have been replaced, and on top of that, he's been out for several days. And of course, it took Tom Brady leaving training camp for 10 suspicious days, doing God knows what, for the national media to take notice of this exact point that I'm making. The point that the Saints fans have been screaming about for a while now, to say, wait a minute, the Saints might be the favorite in the NFC South division. Yeah, well, what about no Sean Payton? What are they going to do then? Okay, so the Saints promoted a great defensive coordinator that had a bad run as a head coach several years ago with a dysfunctional franchise that didn't really give him a fair shake to succeed. The Bucs did the exact same thing. Todd Bowles is a good defensive coordinator that failed previously with the Jets as a head coach. You see my point? Look, Tom Brady is not invincible, okay? I mean, did you see Tom Brady his last year with the Patriots? No offensive line, average wide receivers. Now, they have more weapons at Tampa than they did in New England in that season, but still, not invincible. And if I were you, if I were a Saints fan, or really anyone listening, I'd click on my link below and sign up to betus.com and place a wager on the Saints to win the NFC South. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Or follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok in the description link below.